Hi folks. So I wanted to give you an update on the Star Wars Armada tournament that I went to. It's a little bit late. The tournament was on Saturday and right now it's Thursday. But I've been extremely busy. I've been looking for a new job and it looks like I found a new job, so that's really good news for me. I still wanted to let you know what happened. So I changed my list a little from what I had originally made. I felt like the radar that I had was just not doing anything for me. It didn't help. So I changed it up a little. I named this list Section 31. It's a bit of a joke. I changed one of the objectives. I changed the red objective. Originally I had Precision Strike, but I felt like it didn't do that much for me. So I went with Station Assault. Then of course I had Fighter Ambush, that's a great one for a Sloan list. I have Superior Positions, another great one. I definitely wanted to keep my Demolisher because I thought the idea of a Demolisher with Sloan is really interesting. And it was. My Demolisher did great work. So my Demolisher is pretty much the same. Demolisher, Admiral Montferrat, Ordnance Experts, Engine Techs, Assault Proton Torpedoes. That really makes it quite survivable. And just, it can do devastating damage. With those Assault Proton Torpedoes and rerolls, it's just amazing. So then I have a Quasar Fire 1 class cruiser carrier. With Sloan, Minister Tua, electronic countermeasures, and flight controllers. I have to say, I did not need electronic countermeasures this tournament. I still think it's an interesting thing because it really protects your admiral, which can be quite important. But for this tournament, I really didn't need it. Let me just jump ahead. I have a Gazanti class cruisers with Wolf Jilaren and expanded hangar base. That just gives me 4 squadron activations after the first round. And, you know, that's just a nice cheap way to activate 4 squadrons. So not much special there. Then I replaced the Raider with this. It's a Gazanti class assault carrier. That's the upgraded version. It has 1 red dice out its front, but I mostly wanted it for the blue anti-squadron dice. Now I should mention, it only got to shoot at squadrons twice, and it was only 1 squadron. So it wasn't that useful. But it did save me in the 3rd game, so it's interesting. It has the suppressor, which allows me to tap a defense token from the enemy whenever they land near me. It has Agent Callus to shoot at unique squadrons, quad laser turrets in case squadrons shoot at it, and slicer tools. I have to say the first 2 games, slicer tools didn't really do much for me, and then the 3rd game it saved my neck. So that was really nice. So then I have Colonel Jendon, who's a Lambda. He has relay. A normal Lambda shuttle for more relay. 3 TIE Defenders. Sienna Ree, Valer Rudor, Merrick Steele. So I have 4 TIE Defenders, 2 Lambdas to give me that relay. And then a TIE Interceptor hero and a TIE Fighter Squadron hero. And so let me talk about the tournament itself. The first game I was playing against, I don't remember his name, but this was the first time he ever came to an Armada tournament. So it's really great that we have 2 new players, which is great. We actually ended up having 8 players. It's not that much, but it's a reasonable amount. It was a great tournament. So yeah, he had never played in a tournament before. He played with 2 interdictors and a Quasar, and I won that first game 10-1. 10 points for me, 1 for him, which is the maximum score. And I actually had the maximum score because I didn't lose anything. But honestly, that was just because he had no experience with playing in a tournament. He had only played with friends, and tournaments are just a small step up on how competitive it is. So it's not that surprising that I won, but it was a great a great game. I hope he had fun. I definitely had fun. I tried to help him a little. My squadrons did great. My Demolisher did great. It did a lot of damage because those two interdictors, they're actually really tough to get down. And he had Constantine, so he was constantly messing with the speed of my ships, which was kind of annoying until I killed his interdictor that held Constantine. So yeah, I won that one really hard. But I'm hoping that he had a good time, that he learned some stuff of it. The biggest mistake that he had was, I think, the fact that he had Hyperspace Assault as his yellow objective. So I picked that. It wasn't that dangerous to me, especially since with my Lambda, I was able to move his Hyperspace Assault token. And his Quasar had Rapid Launch Base. So he put his 4 TIE Defenders in the Quasar. Then one of his interdictors had to go into hyperspace, meaning he only got to deploy 2 things. And I got a lot of deployments. So I just put down 1 Gozanti and 4 squadrons, which thanks to my relay can just go anywhere. And then he had to put down his fleet. He also split up his fleet a little, which led to the fact that I was able to pretty much devastate 1 interdictor. Then the other one joined, so I destroyed that. And then finally the Quasar came in, but by that time I had pretty much already won. So yeah, that was the first game. Now the second game I was playing against Jeppe. Now Jeppe is a friend of mine. He's the reigning champion 2 years in a row of the Netherlands for Star Wars Armada. But Jeppe normally plays the Empire. And this time he was trying Rebel. He actually borrowed a ship from me, one of the Hammerheads. So he had an interesting list with a Pelta, a Flotilla, and 1 Nebulon B frigate, and 3 Hammerheads. Yeah, that's it. And then he had a few squadrons, just to keep other squadrons off him. I won that game 9-2, so that was really nice. I mainly won it because one of the objectives that he had was the barrier one. I forgot, jamming barrier. And I picked that one because it didn't really help him that much. I also like not getting shot. So the fact that there was this barrier for which it's hard to shoot doesn't really matter to me. My Demolisher only shoots if it's right up your nose. And the rest of my ships don't really shoot. They rely on the squadrons. And this barrier does nothing against squadrons. So that was nice. Then there was the fact that I just deployed a Gozanti right in the middle. Deployed all my squadrons. Which meant that he decided to put down a lot of his ships, his Pelta and his Flotilla, on one side. Put all his squadrons there too. And then I was like, okay, then I'm just going to go the other way. And he actually put his Hammerheads and his Nebulon there. So he split up his fleet, and that's really what won me the game. I also got really lucky this game, especially with crits. When my squadrons went after his first Hammerhead, I got exactly the right crits on them that I needed with my TIE Defenders. That really helped me win the game. And then later on, he still had his Nebulon B. My Demolisher had only 1 hull point left. And there was really nothing I could do to save it. But I was like, okay, let me activate it first. Shoot at your Nebulon B twice from 2 arcs. And hope that I kill it or give it some kind of crit that might save me. So my first roll was horrible. Even with the rerolls, I had no black crits. So no assault proton torpedoes. But then I did my second shot from my side arc. I got the black crits. And he got the critical that he can't shoot at obstructed targets. And since Admiral Montferrat always makes me obstructed at speed 3, that meant his Nebulon couldn't finish off my Demolisher anymore. And that was amazing. Having that crit at that moment really saved me. I still would have won otherwise, but it would have not been so big a win. So yeah, I got really lucky. I would have won even without that luck, but it was, yeah, there was definitely some luck involved. Oh, and his commander was Kraken, which I still think Kraken is really interesting because he's just like Admiral Montferrat, and he does a good job. It was really annoying that trying to shoot at something and you always lose a dice. Even with my Demolisher, which has 4 dice most of the time, it really sucks to go down to 3 because you really want those 4 dice. So yeah, I think Kraken is great. It was an interesting game. Jeppe ended up being second despite losing to me 9-2. So yeah, he did good too. So then the last game was against Bob. And he had an interesting list. He had a Rebel Squadron list. He had, I know he had Moldy Crow, I think 6 regular X-Wings, and Bigs. Then he had an Assault Frigate, which was the, oh, what's his name? There's an Assault Frigate title that allows you to take 1 less damage with squadrons whenever they take damage. And that's a really potent ability. And that really made it difficult. Then he had a Pelta and a CR90 with turbolaser reroute circuits and a flotilla. So this was a really difficult battle. I won it 10-1, but it could have gone the other way so easily. What really saved me is that he forgot that my Gozanti had slicer tools, allowing me to fly in and change his command dial, not allowing him to control all his squadrons. And that really saved me, because his squadrons were doing a lot of damage to mine. And he was smart enough to take out my Lambda shuttles. And at that point I didn't have relay anymore, which was really painful. I actually ended up losing pretty much all my squadrons. However, while I was losing all my squadrons, my Demolisher was just wrecking his fleet. So yeah, that was an interesting game. Also, my Gozanti got so lucky. It had 1 hull point left. Then 2 X-Wing squadrons shot at it with a reroll. And it didn't take any damage. So that was really lucky. And like I said, I ended up winning that one 10-1 as well. And I won the tournament. Now, it wasn't a big tournament, so I didn't win anything new. But I did win some extra shiny dice. They're like these special dice for if you go to tournaments. And now I have 6 of each color, which is really nice, because usually you don't have to roll more than 6. So now I have 6 of each of the special dice. So yeah, it was a great tournament. I had a lot of fun. I love that there were 2 new players. That's always great. I love seeing more people get into Armada. And yeah, great day. So if you have any questions, comments, please post them. I'd love to hear them. And thanks for watching.